Florence, now we're going to start off with that election for the leadership of the UMP party, the opposition. That's happening on Sunday. In the lead up to it, both top candidates are presenting their programs in Le Figaro.
That's right. It's kind of turned into a two-horse race, even though there are a lot of other candidates. But here are the two frontrunners on the front page of Le Figaro, François Fillon, Jean-François Copé, and they go face-to-face in Le Figaro. Now, both of them have articles where they try to present their program to attract voters. Copé, for instance, who's the current leader of the UMP, says that he wants to put forward an optimistic and positive vision of things, and he calls on a tough resistance against President François Hollande, and he has actually called on French people to take to the streets against the government's policies, and that's drawn a lot of attention in the press in recent months. François Fillon, the former prime minister, he warns that if Copé is elected, the UMP will implode. Now, he says to win, the UMP has to act not only on the right, but also in the center and also on the left. Now, all this is very nice and civil, but it turns out that according to Libération, things are actually turning quite nasty in the last couple of days. They say that with the end in sight, the race is turning quite aggressive. And according to Libération, both camps are concerned that there will be voting fraud. This really surprised me. Now, nearly 300,000 card-carrying UMP members are going to vote on Sunday, but there's no legal control of the election. And it turns out that the right has a history of, let's just say, not so transparent internal elections.
That is surprising. All right, we'll find out then who came out on top of that one on Sunday. Now, we're going to stick with Libération because it's looking at French politics more generally, and it's saying that it's leaning more and more towards the right.
That's right. Here it is on the front page. It says la ligne droite, so the straight line, but also move to the right. Now, the idea is that French politics in general, as you were saying, are moving to the right. First of all, the opposition UMP is treading on the turf of the extreme right, and according to Libération, currents within the Socialist Party are moving more and more to the center and a little bit to the right, in the sense that members of the Socialist Party that are more in the center or to the right are having their voices being more and more heard. And according to Libération, the person that embodies this is the Interior Minister, Manuel Valls, who is here on the cover talking to the President, François Hollande. Now, according to Libération, he is being more and more listened to within the Élysée Palace. His ideology is being more and more adopted. And in their editorial, Libération isn't too thrilled about this. One of the main issues that he seems to have been listened to about is putting off giving foreigners the right to vote. So Libération says that even though the left won the presidential election and the legislative elections, the right, it seems, is winning the ideological battle here. They're the ones that are setting the tone and the agenda. Now, François Hollande gave this very publicized press conference on Tuesday, and part of his aim in that was to show that actually, no, he hasn't moved to the right. He's been very consistent with his values. But Le Parisien points out that he actually didn't really manage to convince French people. According to a poll, 52% of French people didn't find him convincing, and not only that, but 61% said that they were disappointed with his first 6 months in office.
So it doesn't look like his popularity rating is going to improve much after that then. All right, now you were talking about the politics moving more to the right, and one of the elements there perhaps might be competitiveness, and Le Parisien explores just what France needs to do to become more competitive.
That's right, and one thing they're wondering is, should we consider lowering our wages? Here it is on the front page today. Now, this comes after Renault has asked trade unions to sign an agreement to be more flexible in return for a pledge to keep all of Renault's factories in France open. So Le Parisien explores this a little bit more. What does this mean? So according to this flexibility agreement, that would mean negotiating working hours, mobility, but also wages. And Le Parisien says that this kind of flexibility deal is likely to become more and more usual in French companies, especially in this time of crisis. So these are sacrifices that employers are asking their workers to make France more competitive. But Le Parisien wonders, is this the only way to save jobs? And there's another article in Le Parisien that points out that in fact, CEOs aren't necessarily setting the example because they're asking their workers to make sacrifices, but they themselves don't really like to give up their bonuses. So Le Parisien wonders maybe they should set the example before asking people to make sacrifices.
Okay, thank you very much, Florence, for taking us through the papers. You're watching Live from Paris. Coming up, Focus, and today we look at escalating